Just think, guys, we almost got this. Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. Today we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. So, the basic plot of this film is we have Sonic the Hedgehog. He's really young, where he's on his home planet. It's how the film kind of starts off. And, we end up finding out things aren't safe for him there. So he ends up getting sent to Earth. He spends a little bit of time there. And basically, when he gets a little bit older, he ends up losing his bag of magical rings that allow him to, teleport from different worlds, place to place, things like that. So he teams up with this local cop who's played by James Marsden, and they go over to San Francisco to go and track it down. So yeah, that's the basic idea of this film. Oh, and all the meanwhile, Dr. Robotnik is after Sonic. So first thing we got to talk about with this movie is just the redesign of Sonic. So as many of you probably know, 2019, this movie was originally supposed to come out, but when we got that first trailer, everyone was just like, what the heck is that? Like, what did they do to Sonic? He looked absolutely awful. And sure enough, there was enough fan backlash that the creators of this film, the director, they actually heard us and they went back and redesigned Sonic. So they pushed it back, another year. And now we're getting this film in 2020. So did the redesign do anything? And I'm going to tell you guys, yes. Thank God they redesigned Sonic, because I think even though the film itself is pretty solid, I think if they would have stuck with just that original design, it would have been a disaster. But by going back, taking the time to make Sonic actually look what Sonic is supposed to look like, I think it made this film a million times better. Sonic himself looks fantastic, so you can definitely tell. I'm sure they put a lot of work into redesigning him. So it does kind of make you wonder, though, like, what? Who gave the go to be like, yeah, that first time that they put out that initial design, like, yeah, this, people will like this. I'm really curious, because if we ended up getting this, like, I don't understand why they didn't just go with this in the first place. But anyways, the redesign, I think, looks awesome. He's very detailed, so I was really, really happy with that. That's one of my first major pluses. I thought that Ben Shwartz, who does the voice acting for Sonic the Hedgehog, I thought he did a great job of bringing this character to life. Sonic has a great personality. He's kind of all over the place because of, he's really fast, so it fits with him. He's really funny throughout the film, and I enjoyed a lot of his pop culture references throughout the movie. So he did a really good job of, just making Sonic the Hedgehog kind of feel like, what he was, I felt like, in the games. Maybe he's not as sarcastic to a degree, but I thought for the most part he nailed it with that. Another big standout for me, which probably isn't going to be too big of a surprise for people, because even from the initial trailer before they did the redesign, I thought that Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik looked like he was going to be great in this film. He just kind of gave me that 90s, Liar Liar, The Mask, Ace Ventura. He kind of gave me that Jim Carrey type of feel. And I can tell you guys that's carried throughout this film. That's exactly what you get. You get that zany, over-the-top, hilarious Jim Carrey. And I thought that it really fit the character of Dr. Robotnik well. So he was definitely a big highlight. And I hope we honestly get to see more of that kind of Jim Carrey hopefully come back. It's crazy to think that, we get to see this with a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Who would have guessed? Now, as far as, some of the other characters, so sometimes my big complaint when you have, characters like this, video game characters or Transformers, where you could almost probably make the film just kind of have those, the monsters or the different characters just be about them, but studios tend to, put different human characters in there. Sometimes it doesn't always work and you really don't care about the human characters, but I actually thought with this film, for the most part, they did a pretty good job with that. James Marsden's character, so he's the one that kind of like discovers Sonic and ends up, teaming up with him to go help him find his rings that are in San Francisco. Basically, he's like this local cop, and Dr. Robotnik ended up, finding out that he's hiding Sonic at his house, so he's chasing them throughout the film. But I thought that their chemistry between those two characters, Sonic and James Marsden's character. I thought they had a really good, bond. It's basically like a buddy road trip type of kind of like film. So they really bounced off each other really well. And I even thought some of the other characters, James Marsden, his character, I believe his name was Tom in the movie. His wife, I thought, was, good for the amount of time that she was in the film. And some of the other human characters, they weren't too bad. So I definitely give them a thumbs up on that, because like I said, a lot of times with these type of films, those human characters are really kind of thrown in there and you don't need them at all. But I thought for the most part they did a pretty decent job with what they had to do. So definitely another thumbs up. Overall, I mean, this is definitely, a movie that's like aimed at kids, but I thought there was, some pretty cool Easter eggs, even like the opening of the film where you kind of get to see, Sonic from way back, when the first games kind of came out. There's some nice little Easter eggs for like the true fans, for the series throughout the film. And, in the theater that I was with one of my buddies. There was definitely a lot of families and stuff like that there. And you could tell that the kids and families were having a lot of fun. So this movie does a great job of hitting that target audience. Yes, this by no means is a perfect film. At times, there's definitely some cliched stuff or very convenient stuff that happens. But I'm not going to pick this kind of movie apart. It's not something that, trust me, if this was just like an awful movie, I would have no problem bashing it. But for something like that, it hit its target audience. It was funny, it was fun, and I thought that they did a good job of, bringing justice to the Sonic the Hedgehog character. And actually at the end of the movie, there is two post-credit sequences. Well, one kind of in the beginning, and then there's another one. So definitely make sure that you stay for that, because they do kind of, set up the idea for a sequel, which with how well this movie is doing, looks like we should probably get. So I'm really interested to see what they can do with that. But yeah, overall, I actually had a really good time with this film. It was between this and Fantasy Island. And I was really nervous when I saw that Fantasy Island didn't get any Thursday showings. That was kind of weird, because I feel like I haven't seen that happen with a film in a long time. So I was a little nervous with that. And after I heard that the reviews for that film were kind of god-awful, I was like, you know what, we're going to go see a movie that I actually think has potential to be okay. And this movie actually ended up really surprising me. So I think that, just as a family-friendly film, I think that, kids will definitely like this, families will like this, and even if you're, a fan of the game and of the character, I think that you guys will like this as well. So overall, as a score, I'm going to give this a solid 8 out of 10. I really had a lot of fun with this, and I will be picking this up when it comes out on Blu-ray. So if you guys have seen the film, make sure to let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you are new to the channel, like as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as well as hit that notification next to it. That way you get notifications for all my new videos. And as always, guys, make sure to check back for more Pop Culture with Pat.